how to integrate a retreat experience into your daily life. It's not about holding on to a high, it's about becoming someone who can live from that high place. Hi, I'm Suzi, and this is a space where we slow down, we tune in, and tap in to what is truly important to you. Today, we're talking about how to create a powerful retreat experience in your everyday life. And so, what I know is that if I can bring in retreat experiences of deep inner peace throughout my day and live this as a way of life, so can you. This is what I want for you. What if a retreat feeling isn't exactly the peak that you're looking for, but what if it's actually the starting point of how you now get to live every day of your life? Research shows that taking the time to unplug from your life and go and immerse yourself into a retreat experience does provide us deep rest and deep restoration. It's the kind of inner peace that we all need to be getting through our day-to-day lives. And definitely a retreat devotee. I believe in the power of retreat to create deep inner healing, deep inner transformation, and deep inner peace. But it's actually the return from the retreat and how to integrate and embody that into your day-to-day life that really matters the most. I actually have two clients right now who each went on their own individual retreats, and they both happen to be right now returning from retreats and working on this very thing, the integration of that feeling of deep peace, that feeling of that immersion, and bringing it back into day-to-day life when the patterns of day-to-day life and the activities and the busyness can so easily get in the way. Maybe you have experienced that. Maybe you are longing for this. So I'm telling you, this is your day. Over 90% of adults are right now living a life of quiet desperation. This is not the life that you are meant to live, and certainly not if you are listening to this episode. By the time you complete this episode, you are going to be on your way to integrating these experiences into your everyday life as a way of life for you from now on. It's actually the way I live my life now. Every day is a retreat day. That's how much I take care of myself every single day. I bring moments of retreat into my daily life, and I became passionate about this when my son Will was really young, and I was anything but rested. I was exhausted, and I was martyring myself. I was martyring myself because I was conditioned to martyr myself. I was conditioned as a woman, as a mom, to be all things to all people, to put everyone else first before myself. When I did decide to take this on as a way of life, my life changed from the inside out. It changed dramatically, it changed radically, and I have never gone back. You have not been taught that joy and a life force is what is meant for you. Well, this is how I was living my life until I decided no. This is not the life I came here to live. Definitely not the life I wanted my son to witness me living. No, I have been gifted this one life, and I am here to live this life to the fullest, to experience an inner, rich quality of life, to create really connected relationships. And it was very important to me to create a really connected relationship with my son, because I had not experienced that with my own mom. I was different from the inside out of me, and I could feel it. And my relationships with everyone around me, but most especially my relationship with my son Will, it just really dramatically enhanced. So, this is what I want for you. And when you make that decision, that is step one. Step one is simply deciding you have been gifted a life, and you are here to live a life that is inspired, that is fulfilled, that is connected to a flow and a joy and a life force that only you can live in only the way that you came to live it. There is a place within you that knows that there is a greater life. There is something more in this life that is calling you, that is meant for you. And then step two is that you are going to be required, you are going to need to change your self identity from someone who believes and has been conditioned to think that taking care of yourself first is selfish. You need to change your identity from that to the way that you have been conditioned to identify yourself as a woman, as a man, as an individual who has come on planet Earth to live a rich quality of life where you are connected to your inner light and you allow it to shine from the inside out. You are here to identify yourself, to give yourself permission to live an expanded life, to give yourself permission to see that your identity is infinite. The energy that you are is infinite. You are infinite potentiality. You are infinite possibilities. You are here to live an infinitely expanding life. Shift in your identity now. And when you do, we move into step three. Take small, consistent, courageous actions. So, when I started this experiment back when my son Will was young, and I began to resource myself every day, I felt guilty just like you might. And at the beginning, it felt like a very courageous act to take care of myself and then be the first one of my friends to show up restored and refreshed when all of my friends felt exhausted and upset with their kids, upset with their spouse, just in a state of overwhelm, anxiety, stress. And when I would show up, because I was practicing and I had decided, it was courageous act for me to be the first one in my friend group to go, I'm doing okay. I'm thriving. It doesn't mean that I wasn't having life experiences. It doesn't mean that it was hard to get rest with a toddler or a young child. But I'm telling you, I made a decision to thrive in my life. And you know what happened? Even though it was a courageous act for me to be the first one in my friend group to show up, when I started showing up and really identifying myself and embodying myself as a woman who thrives, a mother who thrives, a mother that is here to live an inspired life, when I started showing up that way, exactly the opposite of what I thought would happen happened. All of my friends wanted to know what I was doing, and they wanted the same thing that I was experiencing. And that's when I knew I was onto something because they wanted what I was experiencing. And I wanted more of what I was experiencing. Make that decision for yourself and decide that you're going to begin to take small, consistent, courageous actions because this way of life is not going to manifest by some big change necessarily. You are going to create, to co create, and to manifest a thriving life by these small, consistent acts of self reflection, self connection. Now, the important thing that we're going to go into with this step is that this does not happen from the outside in. It isn't the going to a retreat. It isn't going to get a mani-pedi. The outer activity is never going to bring you inner peace. This is something that begins within and comes from the inside out of you. So I am going to take you now through some practices, through some different ideas and things that you can implement in your life. But I want you to understand that although you may be doing some things in your outer life. What matters is your intention. What matters is that you are setting an intention now to begin to create a life that in a day, in your day-to-day life, you have spaciousness, you have an expanded consciousness for self-regulation, self-reflection. So this is coming from the inside out of you. So I am going to take you through a couple of ideas right now. And as I'm moving through some of the ideas, I want you also brainstorming. By the end of this episode, I really want you to have a list of things that would really bring you joy, that you can bring into the moments of your day-to-day life. Move your body. The best way that you can help me help you is to move your body. Because if you want to move forward in your life, if you want to move the energy of exhaustion, the energy of overwhelm and anxiety and stress, if you want to move the energy that is right now residing in your nervous system, part of it is that you want to move your body. Create a lifestyle where you are contemplative every day, where you are reflective every day. So even if it's not a formal workout practice, just walking around your neighborhood, getting yourself out of the indoors, and that reflects and reminds and awakens you from the inside out. Oh, this is my true nature. I am so much greater than drop-offs. I'm so much greater than the tasks that I'm doing during the day. I'm so much greater than that. I'm a part of all of nature. So moving your body, being out in nature, top two, bar none. When you move your body and get your body moving, that is going to assist your mind to quiet and calm. And you may want to try to reverse it because you may find that your meditations are of a dramatically different quality when you move first and then meditate. So try it. Let me know how it goes. I'm always interested in you experimenting with what can work for you that brings you the richest quality of experience. So I think the next couple are pretty obvious. With moving your body, with quieting your mind, clearly we want to set an intention to eat well and to hydrate our body. I always hydrate. For any of you who are watching on YouTube, I always have my water with my electrolytes. You want to just hydrate. You want to have bottles of water everywhere because our body is over 80%, 75, 80% water. And so the more that you hydrate, again, it just keeps the energy flowing. And that's what happens in a retreat experience. You unplug from your daily life and you connect more deeply inward. And so when you're hydrating yourself on a day-to-day basis and your body is already mostly water, and then you feed and nourish your body and food that isn't processed, and you drink water, then your body responds in kind. Your body, your nervous system recreates the experience that replicates you unplugging from the outer world and retreating. Now, the next few examples I'm going to give you, these are more inner states of being, okay? Be willing to set boundaries. We are all taught, be all things to all people all the time, that it's weak to ask for help. It is not only not weak to ask for assistance, but we are all interdependent beings. And when one of you calls me and asks me for a session, what happens? I get to be of service to you. So it helps me have my life not only be directed at me, all about me, it allows me to be of service. And then what happens? I get such a great feeling of being of service to you. So asking for help is not only essential for your well-being, but it is essential for our society because we are not meant to be living isolated lives. We are meant to be being of service to someone else. My husband, he's just amazing at this. He's always cooking, and he's always cooking a lot. We're empty nesters, so we are two people in our home. My husband cannot make dinner without feeding our entire neighborhood. And just last night, I'm remembering, he has a friend who is not feeling well, thinks he has COVID or a cold or the flu. What did my husband do? My husband made a chicken soup and took it over to his house, asking for help, asking for assistance, and then allowing the other individual to be of assistance, to be of service. That is so kind, that is so life-giving to the other person. It just lit my husband up. It was fulfilling for him. It made him feel good to go be of service to his friend. And so boundaries, asking for help, not doing it all yourself. Here's another one, releasing yourself from over responsibility. I work with so many clients every day in the midst of the process of releasing yourself from over responsibility. Yes, at the beginning, it may feel selfish. You may feel guilty. You may feel like you've been so conditioned to think that you are actually responsible for someone else's well being. You are not. You are a sovereign being. You are a sovereign soul. And every individual in your life is also a sovereign being and a sovereign soul. And even for individuals who maybe you are taking care of elderly parents, or maybe you are taking care of young children. I have done both. So even then, it is still absolutely imperative that you are coming from your own overflow, from your own fulfillment, from taking care of yourself, because you are not of high service to anyone else when you are running on empty, when you are running on fumes. So it is imperative that you begin to release this guilt. When I started seeing the difference of how I was showing up with my son, and I found myself in giving myself these retreat experiences, and I would then show up patient and kind and connected and joyful. And I was realizing that I was more present and I was enjoying my motherhood journey, and I was enjoying my time with my husband, and I was really enjoying my life. My life felt rich. Well, as soon as that started happening inside of me, nothing changed on the outside of my life. We live in the same house. I have the same husband. I have the same child. Nothing changed in my external world. Everything changed inside of me. And when it did, my whole world changed. And so that's when I dropped the guilt. And I will never go back to feeling guilty. You could not pay me enough money. I wouldn't receive $10 million to go back to feeling guilty, because I know that when you take care of yourself first, you're going to like the way that you are showing up in your life. You are going to like the way that you feel inside of yourself. When you begin to experience a real sense of well being, and you begin to experience what real well being actually feels like, you will never, never go back again. So, the next thing that I want to talk about is connection, giving yourself permission for connections with friends, giving yourself permission to take time to connect. Even if you can't go have a full on lunch or a tea or a coffee, call them. Because again, 90% of adults are living lives of quiet desperation. We're living more and more and more isolated. The connections that you are meant to have with each other is soul fulfilling. So give yourself permission today, before you put your head on your pillow tonight, to reach out to a friend, to make a connection, to have a conversation. It doesn't even have to be a deep conversation, just something that connects you with someone or something that is out of the structure of your day-to-day life. You'll have the bandwidth, you'll have the energy, you'll have the enthusiasm, you'll have the joy, you'll have the energy. You will show up to your life radically, dramatically different when you connect with those around you that are able to meet you, that are able to also provide for you a glimpse into what is working in their life for them. It's mutually beneficial. It expands each of you and it expands both of you. I typically have roses all around my house. I love them. I swear they speak to me. There's something about the purity of a white rose. It just reminds me of nature and my innocence and my wholeness and my essence and my authenticity. And I also love arranging them and changing the water in them. I love vibrant roses, fuchsia roses, orange yellow, these bringing nature inside, there's just something that connects you with nature that is outside. And so, yes, I know there's controversy about cutting of flowers, but I have them all around my house, my bedroom, my bathroom, my living room, my office, anywhere you walk into our house. And I love watching them bloom throughout the week. And like I said, I feel like they speak to me. Roses might not be your thing, but there is something that speaks to you. So this is what I'm speaking of. This aspect of bringing a retreat experience into your daily life has to do with aesthetic and beauty, and it's free. The other thing that I really encourage you to do is to bring music into your life, whether it's classical, pop, whether it's chant music, whatever it is that speaks to you, or different music on different days. We always dance in our kitchen. We have since Will was little, and he's graduating college, and we still dance in our kitchen practically every day. If we're stressed and we need to de-stress, or if we're depressed and we need to dance, music has a way of assisting your nervous system and proactively activating your nervous system into the state that you are looking to expand into. The music can be like training wheels on a bike. It can really assist your nervous system to get to the state. So if you're struggling with depression or you're going through a really hard time or a dark time, music be your best friend. Okay, there is always journaling, therapy, taking one of my online courses. There is community. So if you want to bring a retreat experience into your day-to-day life, if you want to really change your life from the inside out, take an online class, find a coach, find a therapist, journal, find an online community. I'm not saying this just because it is my community, but our soul care community, our soul psychology community, it's one of the safest communities. We are so transparent. We're evolving together. We are transforming together. I do group coaching. When you watch someone being coached, it dramatically changes your life. You're just watching someone else being coached and you feel like you were just coached. So consider anything, get a book, an inspirational book, read an inspirational quote at the beginning of your day, anything that is inspiring, anything that is going to take you out of the current state of your consciousness and elevate your consciousness in your day-to-day life. Because if you just read an inspired paragraph in a book and then you go to wash your dishes, you are going to be washing your dishes in an elevated state of consciousness, in a higher frequency, in a higher vibration. And the whole point of this episode is to find ways to bring in practices during your everyday life that will elevate your frequency, elevate your vibration, elevate the way that you identify yourself, and therefore elevate your day-to-day experience, elevate your relationships, your connections with your family, with your friends, with your work, with your finance, with your body. You want to live and breathe in an elevated state of consciousness. And so that brings me to our guided process for today. Let's all just take a moment and begin to tune in and tap in to what's within. I'm going to take us through a guided process where I take you through these steps so that by the time you open your eyes, you are going to be ready to create an inner retreat experience that will bring you deep peace and deep calm into your day today. So let's just take a moment. If it feels right to you, just gently close your eyes. Let's become aware of your breath. Feel yourself inhaling and exhaling. You may want to place your hand on your heart. I often place my hand on my heart as a way of reminding myself that I'm not alone, that I'm here to calm myself, to calm my nervous system, to be present with me from the inside out, to see what is within me. So we're just becoming aware of our breath, settling down, settling in. And the first thing that you're going to do is to make a decision that you are here to live an elevated, expansive, light-filled, thriving life. You are here to live a life of deep inner peace and calm. You are here to live with your nervous system regulated, soothed. You are here to live with emotional equanimity. You are not here to live a life of quiet desperation. You are here to live a life that is thriving, that is full of joy and expansion. There is a life force within you, and retreating throughout your day allows that life force within you to be activated. So right now, just because you're making a decision, just because you're saying yes, you are touching into that life force and you are activating a place inside of you. Maybe your heart is smiling. Maybe you're even feeling a smile on your face just by saying yes to you. Yes to the life that you have come here to live today, in only the way that you can live it. And now allow the way that you identify yourself to be elevated. Who are you? When you allow yourself to live a rich, fulfilled life, relationships that are rich and connected, when you identify yourself as worthy and deserving of taking the time and the space for self-reflection, self-contemplation, self-support, self-love, self-care, soul care, the caring of yourself, the caring of your soul. It feels so good. Are you willing to be the first one in your friend group, the first one in your family? Regardless of what anyone else says, feel the feeling of how good it feels to be the one who's willing to thrive, who's willing to break the molds, who's willing to cut the generational cords. Be the one. It feels so good. And just feel the feeling in your nervous system of how good it feels to give yourself permission to identify yourself as the thriving being that you are here to be. Just feel into that inner connection, that inner reflection. Feel what it feels like to be self-supportive. And now just begin to envision your life. How will your life change when you change the way that you show up? Envision yourself, imagine yourself connected to nature, bringing some nature into your home, moving your body, taking some time to journal, lighting some candles, making the decision to ask for assistance, deciding that you do not have to be all things to all people all the time. And allow yourself now to move into a state of deep inner peace, deep inner calm. Maybe your heartbeat has slowed. Maybe your breath has slowed. Allow yourself to enter into a deep inner peace. a flow state within you, a state of flow within you. There is a flow state within you, and it is calling you, and it feels so restorative. You feel a state of deep rest, relaxation, restoration, rejuvenation. Let your nervous system just drop down deep. Allow your mind to quiet. Allow your soul to shine. Allow your spirit to speak. Feel what it feels like to be the one in your family that is embodying well-being. Well-being, being well, feeling wealthy from within. Well-being. How good it feels to give these retreat experiences to yourself. How good it feels to slow down even internally. And as you connect with that deep inner peace, you will find that right there is your deep inner wisdom. Inside of you, you know that you know that you know. And so allow your wisdom, your guidance, your prompting, your heart's desires to take up space right now. Take up residence right now in your consciousness. What does it feel like when you give yourself permission to live from this deep state of peace, calm, serenity, equanimity, joy, expansion, creativity, inspiration, wealth, well-being, prosperity, abundance? You're well hydrated, you've moved, your body feels good, your mind feels good, your heart feels expanded. And then simply take a moment to give yourself permission to bring this back into your everyday life. And when you get that good feeling for taking up this space, then just gently open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, become aware of your breath again. Ask yourself again, what if a retreat isn't the peak experience, but it's just the starting point of how you now get to live every single day of your life? And one takeaway question: what is one simple way that you can bring what you just experienced back into your life today? And so if you feel called to go deeper with me, I have so many resources and courses listed below. Please look them up. Send me an email, a DM. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know your takeaways. And if this supported you, please consider liking, subscribing, or leaving a review. And maybe share this with a friend that you'd like to share this idea of creating a retreat experience that you can talk back and forth. You can be accountability partners. Share this with a friend and see how your life and their life expands. And so until next time, give yourself permission to thrive, and remember, it all begins within. See you next time.